It's Christmas Eve, and I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling that holiday rush.
Yeah.
Shopping, wrapping, and
Yeah.
maybe just a little too much eggnog. But even with all that going on, there's something pretty powerful that can help us stay grounded.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Gratitude. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, a blog post by Clara Penrose called 50 Grateful Journal Prompts.
Okay.
It was published on lestallion.com last month. Now, 50 prompts, that might seem like a lot.
Yeah, it does.
That's where we come in. We'll sift through and highlight the ones that really stood out to us. So while we're chatting, think about what areas of your own life, you'd like to explore with a little more thankfulness.
I love that. It's amazing how even just thinking about what we're grateful for, it can really have a big impact on how we feel, especially during a time of year that can be, well, kind of stressful and joyful.
Exactly. And I have to say, the first category in this post, personal growth,
Hmm.
that really caught my eye. I'm always interested in those prompts that go a little deeper than like, what did you achieve this year? You know?
Yeah, totally. And these prompts definitely do that. Like what's one quality I admire in myself and why does it bring me a sense of gratitude? It's not about, bragging or anything. It's about recognizing those strengths we all have that we don't always give ourselves credit for.
Yeah, it's like giving yourself a pat on the back just for being you.
Exactly.
There's another one. It asks, how have I become more patient, understanding, or kind over the years? And I love how it encourages us to actually trace the evolution of those qualities, like mapping
Yeah.
out a personal growth chart almost.
I like that, a growth chart, yeah. What's interesting about that one is, it really encourages a growth mindset.
Mm,
It's not just listing traits, it's asking how you've developed them, how you've gotten there. And research shows that kind of reflection can actually make you more resilient. People who regularly acknowledge their growth are better able to bounce back from setbacks and challenges.
That makes total sense. It's like you're building this mental library of evidence you can draw on when things get tough. And speaking of qualities we admire, I think that often extends to the people closest to us too. Which brings us to our next category, family and friends.
Yeah. And the prompts here, they go beyond just listing the people you're grateful for. They dig into like the quality of those relationships.
Right.
One that really resonated with me was, who do I feel most comfortable being myself around? It's such an important part of feeling connected, that feeling of being seen and accepted for who you are.
Oh, absolutely. There's a sense of safety and belonging there. You don't have to pretend or put on a facade.
Right, exactly.
Building on that idea of appreciating qualities in others, there's another prompt that asks, what's a unique trait I appreciate about one of my friends, and how does it inspire me?
I like that one. I think what's powerful about that is that it encourages us to look past the surface and see what's really special about the people we care about.
Hmm.
Recognizing the things that make them them and how those qualities enrich our own lives.
It's like we're acknowledging their positive ripple effect on us. Now, let's be real. The holidays can be a bit of a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So this next category, everyday moments, feels very relevant right now.
For sure.
I love how these prompts encourage us to appreciate the small things, even when things feel hectic.
Yeah, absolutely. And one that really does that is, what's a small daily ritual that brings me peace or happiness? It's like a little reminder to find those pockets of joy, even in the middle of everything else.
That prompt made me think about my morning coffee routine.
Oh, yeah.
I've really come to appreciate that quiet time before the day gets crazy. It's such a simple thing, but it sets the tone for my whole day.
What about you? Any daily rituals you're feeling particularly grateful for? Actually, my evening walk with my dog. Doesn't matter how hectic the day's been. Those 30 minutes of fresh air and her playful energy, it really helps me unwind. It's become a ritual I really appreciate.
Yeah, it really is amazing how the little things can have such a big impact on our mood.
Yeah.
And speaking of simple pleasures, there's another prompt in this section. It asks, what's one simple pleasure that I often overlook but would miss if it weren't there?
Ooh, that one really makes you think, huh?
Yeah.
It's easy to take everyday things for granted, but then you imagine them not being there, and suddenly you realize how much they add to your happiness.
So true. It's a reminder to appreciate those little moments, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't know, like the taste of your favorite food or hearing people laughing around you, those seemingly small things, they can really impact our quality of life.
Absolutely. Okay, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about the self-care and well-being category.
Okay.
I like how these prompts go beyond just, the typical bubble bath and face mask image of self-care.
They really dig into a deeper understanding of well-being.
Yeah, one that I thought was really interesting asks, how does my body support me every day, and why am I grateful for its strength or resilience? It's a good reminder to appreciate our bodies for everything they do instead of just focusing on what we might see as imperfections.
I love that. Shifting the perspective. It's about recognizing what an incredible machine our body is
Uh-huh.
and being thankful for how it carries us through life.
Exactly. And going from, physical well-being to mental well-being, there's another one that asks, when I feel stressed, what's something I can do to find calmness and bring myself back to center? This one encourages us to have some tools, some coping mechanisms that we can use when things get tough.
Yeah, being proactive about our mental health, having some strategies in place to deal with those inevitable stressful moments.
Right. And having those strategies can make a huge difference. It's not about avoiding stress altogether,
Right.
but more about learning how to handle it in a healthy way.
Okay. And finally, we come to the last category, dreams and aspirations. I find it fascinating how these prompts connect gratitude to our future goals.
Yeah, there's one here I thought was really interesting. It asks, how does having dreams and ambitions help me feel hopeful and look forward to what's to come? It's appreciating how dreams can fuel our motivation and give us a sense of purpose.
Like having a guiding star pulling you forward. Even the journey towards that dream becomes something to be grateful for.
Yeah, and building on that, there's another prompt that asks, what's one thing I hope to accomplish someday, and how does it inspire gratitude for my abilities? This one encourages us to connect those big goals we have with the skills and talents we already have.
Right. It's like you're acknowledging the potential you have and recognizing the tools you have to make those dreams a reality.
And that recognition, it can be so empowering. It helps you approach those goals with a sense of confidence and gratitude for your own abilities.
So as we're wrapping up our look at these 50 Grateful Journal prompts,
Hmm.
what really stands out to you? Is there a theme or category that resonates most strongly?
Honestly, what I'm struck by is how, I don't know, interconnected all these prompts are. Whether we're thinking about personal growth, appreciating the people around us, enjoying those small moments, taking care of ourselves, or, chasing those big dreams, it always comes back to gratitude.
Yeah, that's a really great point. It's like we've been weaving this tapestry of gratitude,
Right.
and each category is a different thread, but ultimately they all contribute to the same big picture. And speaking of pictures, Clara Penrose in her blog post on lestallion.com, she actually mentions the site has some really nice journals specifically for gratitude.
Mm.
Not that you need a fancy journal, of course.
Right.
A simple notebook or even just like the Notes app on your phone can work just as well.
Yeah, the most important thing is to find what works for you and just, make it a regular practice. Whether you're writing every day, once a week, or even just every now and then, just taking the time to think about what you're grateful for, that can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And since we're wrapping up this deep dive on Christmas Eve,
Mm.
wanted to leave you with one last prompt to think about. It's something that came up while we were talking about all these different sides of gratitude. So think about the categories we've explored: personal growth, relationships, those everyday moments, self-care, and dreams. What's one unexpected connection between them that you noticed? And how might that connection change how you approach gratitude, moving forward?
That's a great question to consider. It encourages us to make this practice our own and see how gratitude fits into our individual lives.
Exactly. Maybe you realize that your personal growth has actually made your relationship stronger, or maybe that taking care of yourself gives you the energy to go after those dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever those connections are, let them help you understand how gratitude can really touch every part of your life.
And as you're spending time with your loved ones, sharing meals, or even just enjoying some quiet time, remember that the most important part of gratitude isn't just writing it down, it's really feeling it in your heart. Hold on to that feeling, let it inspire you, and let it fill this holiday season and every day after with joy, appreciation, and a sense of wonder for all the good things in your life.